Hey, alright, welcome to the Tuesday show. I'm Ultra David. Let's do it around here.
Sure, I'm James Chen.
That's you next. Right?
Oh, cool. We're going clockwise. I'm
Yeah.
P&D Mustard.
I am P&D Ketchup.
And I'm Sajam.
So, we're going to be talking about... I thought you were just going to do it right after when you said your thing. I didn't know that you were going to
I
wait
usually save it for the
until
end.
the end. Yeah.
How's everybody going? There we go.
That's not
Very
correct.
important.
Still,
Yeah.
by the way.
Very important to get out there. Anyway, so we're going to talk about what you can see on the right here. We're going to talk about Injustice 2, which has been announced, and we've seen a little bit so far. We're going to talk about the ESL MKX stuff, which happened the past weekend, which is why they're in town.
Yes.
We're going to talk about other events. We're going to talk about RAAM in KI,
Yes.
who I had a chance to check out earlier.
He's the greatest.
Just a lot of E3 stuff in general.
A ton of other E3
Yeah,
stuff.
Is he not the greatest?
So I do want to address.
I know, he's good.
His instinct does trigger me.
Dude, it's crazy.
I saw it and I was like, what is that?
You know what the problem with it, though, is that I popped Instinct, and then on my wake-up, they overheaded me, and I couldn't see it. And I was like, oh, damn. I was, like, getting mixed up like crazy, and I was like, I don't know what's happening. Like, Saberwolf dashes through me, I'm like, okay,
That's
well.
kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a double-edged sword, for sure.
Kind of like sitting here off to the. No, but it's all good.
Yeah,
But
well, I guess we'll talk a little bit about the Evo Games lineup when we talk about other stuff.
Yeah, I also
Sounds
want to
good.
talk a little bit about, because we didn't get a chance to, and it would be cool to get Ketchup and Mustard's opinion on, the whole floating through pools if you're a top player kind of situation. Leffen brought this up, but we'll talk about this a little bit more. But
Okay.
lots of cool
Buttload of
stuff.
topics.
Yeah.
Also, Lord Umahara becoming the global ambassador of Twitch. We didn't talk about that yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew about that.
He's that's his official title now. He's the global ambassador of Twitch, and in
Mm-hmm.
2020 he will be the supreme chancellor of Earth. He's just working his way up
It's
over
not
time.
That's
gonna-
the ramp,
It's
huh?
not,
Yeah.
it's not gonna take much
Maybe
longer,
2022 or something. It might
Yeah,
be.
you're gonna have to depend on the asymptote pretty hard for that.
We're gonna have to wait for the next Olympics to pass, and then he'll be in there. He'll be like holding the torch at the next Olympics. For sure.
As soon as I saw him make the announcement that was his new job title at Twitch, I really looked into finding out what that meant,
I have
and
no
I
idea.
just couldn't find anything.
It doesn't say anywhere.
It's probably one of those things where it's just like, hey, let's bring Daigo in.
Yeah, I know.
We'll say that he's part of Twitch now.
What do you?
What are we
say?
gonna- what are we gonna
We'll,
call him?
we'll get to this. We'll
Okay,
get
fine.
to this.
Alright, fine.
But before we start on
I'd like to
any
think
topic,
that he demanded that was his
before
title.
we start on any topic, what I would like to do is talk about you guys a little bit. Ketchup and Mustard, of course. Ryan and Jake, right? So I just want to talk about your background a little bit. Let people who I wouldn't know why they wouldn't be familiar with you guys, but for anyone who doesn't know who you are, what you guys are about. So first, I want to start by saying that you guys are professional Clash Royale commentators.
Oh man.
I mean, if you want to go into details, I think I do one cast for Clash Royale, and I actually have more people approach me and go, "You're the guy that did Clash Royale," and I'm like, "Yeah, I guess technically I am. It's a good game. I had fun with it, But what a funny old story.
No, well,
First week on the job, that was. First week on the job. So for those of you that aren't aware, Ketchup and I are, we're two guys from the UK. We started out playing MK9 competitively back in 2011. We were players throughout that game's lifetime, which was about 2 or 3 years. That's sort of the start of NRS games. So that was really when NetherRealm games sort of started in the modern FGC as we know it now. MK9 was kind of where that really sort of revived itself.
No longer garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Good way to put
But
it.
then Injustice came out. We were playing that, but we were finishing university. So as Injustice finished, we sort of took a step into, games promotions and conventions and video game shows and stuff like that. And then after a couple of years after that, we were approached for some MKX work, which ended up being commentary. We went into it without having any idea really whether we'd be good at it. We were like, well, it sounds like an amazing opportunity.
it was quite a risk though. I mean, because we worked for Rockstar Games at the time as QA testers back in the UK.
Oh wow.
That's where their main QA is done, in the middle of the UK in Lincoln, Rockstar Lincoln. We'd been there for a year. We got the call to do Mortal Kombat X, and we basically it was a big gamble, but we knew that this could have been like the start of something quite important to the both of us.
Right. Okay.
Which ended up being the Season 1 Pro League, which then became the Season 2 Pro League, which then became working at ESL UK full time to then go on and do Season 3, which we're here now for. So
Well, it was a case of we were approached by Warner Brothers back before about half a year before MKX came out, and they said we're doing Fatal 8 and it will go into Season 1 of the Pro League. Here is what we're proposing. We want one of you to be a player in the Fatal 8, and I'm sure that's how they approached all the players that were part of that tournament. and they said, but when it comes to the competitive stuff, we want you to commentate, but you can obviously enter, but you can't do both. So they basically presented with the choice of, do you want to commentate or do you want to play? So we kind of sat on it and thought, more than anything else, it was at this point we've been involved in competitive NetherRealm games for about 4 years, and we thought this is going to be a great push from the game. It needs correct representation in commentary, and especially for Europe. Obviously, at NA there was a lot of people that could have got to do this, but especially for Europe, we thought if we don't do it, who is going to do it, and who's going to be able to do it right? And at the time we thought, well, we know a lot about the games. We want to be amazing commentators. We don't know, but we at least understand the game. So we thought, we'll maybe give MKX the best possible chance it's got going forward. If we can do it right, then maybe we can do a good job at it.
I mean, the coolest thing was both of you guys were big tech monsters in the game, right? You would find all like the crazy stuff. So naturally, you already kind of had this understanding of the system and all that stuff, right?
I still think that I'm probably the sole reason Sorcerer Quan got nerfed as hard as it did.
I probably are,
I
yeah.
found the 2 spells.
That was sick. by the way.
And the many different ways to get armor back for free. Stand on the edge of the armor and press stance change. Just go whoop.
You also broke a child's heart at Evo and did this in his face.
Hey, look, Forever King Jr. is a cool guy. But
When he made top 8 and just whoop, hit him with the, you know.
a lot of people that don't know me hate me for that.
I thought it was great.
But
Yeah, it was so
it was
sick.
That's awesome.
When we'd stream, and like part of our stream, because it was just such a crucial part to playing Sorcerer, was getting the guaranteed chip.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to Brutality, and I'm like, look guys, if I get this Brutality, I don't care who it is,
Yeah,
I'm doing something.
exactly.
I didn't know what I was going to
It
do.
just happened to be against a 14-year-old child.
I didn't think about that.
He was just defenseless.
It's not like he's some random child.
He's
of course.
very
very good.
Yomi Forever
He's
King
good.
Jr. He was
Yeah,
serious.
yeah,
He
he's
was serious.
legit. Come on.
He just finished recess.
and he'd be.
Just got rid of the coloring books. Wham! Right in his face.
I was taking him really seriously though, because I mean, like
You should.
at that time, Rio was playing a bit of Quan Chi, and he'd used Sorcerer, and Forever King Jr. had beat his Sorcerer with Jason in
okay,
tournament.
right.
So I'm like, well, I've got to take this guy seriously. Plus, you know, I had him and Tyrant in my path. He'd beat Tyrant to get through. I prepared for a whole bunch of other guys as well, but I mean, like the guys I was preparing for had kind of like lost to people I didn't know about, like some of the chili dudes that had gone and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't regret it.
No, it was a great moment.
It was-
Yeah.
I thought it was hilarious.
I got the Sorcerer Brutal, but yeah,
And then
you
you
know.
Yeah, so, I mean, one thing I want to add, so if people don't know, you were top 8 last year at EVO. So the decision between playing and commentating was a harder decision for you to make than it would be for, like, me.
Well, it's a weird one because I think, I mean, we're both confident. I think that if we weren't commentating, we would be playing, and I think, you know, without sounding arrogant, I believe that we would have been able to take it far enough that, you know, that we would be at the season finals.
At
On the
least
EU
for
side,
season 1, I would say
for
so.
season 1, definitely the competition got better as we went on, but I still feel like the opportunity to sort of compete in the grassroots tournaments it's still something we can do. It's just more availability now.
Mhm.
So, like, you know,
Plus, time's a factor. Obviously, now I work for ESL UK. That's been quite a recent thing the last sort of 2 or 3 months. Well, going into our 3rd month now, ESL UK has picked us up full time. So the European side of the Pro League is now done from the UK. We're not living in Poland anymore because for 4
Right.
months of last year we lived in Poland, where it was
Right.
broadcasted from Katowice, and
Right.
that's where we did it from. And now it's in the UK, but because it's now a full-time position, the time to put into the game to be at the level that, you know, the current best are is just not really something we can do anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, you guys are the only full-time employed commentators in this room. So.
Dang. Sucks to suck, Ultra 10. Hold that.
well, it's, you know, we do Clash Royale in other games now, so it's we have to be
That's the secret right there, right?
multi-game
Yeah.
men.
But I feel like
Gotta
working
step it up.
That's
I-
what sounded really bad.
Overwatch.
Multi-game.
Oh, we could be
men.
Overwatch.
Multi-game.
We could just pretend to be
men.
twins, and then we'll have the same shtick and everything.
We already kind of do.
Dude, you guys have the
Oh.
same voice already, right? So you guys are right there. I
I
just have
feel
to
like-
get Vicious in here now.
Oh man,
so
that
I
would be
can-
sick.
yeah.
I feel like that's a really interesting part of working for ESL, particularly though, because, you know, it's not just fighting games we're into. Like, I'm sure, like most of us, we've always been into gaming in general. Fighting games is just our favorite.
For sure.
You know, part
Oh,
of the
yeah,
hobby.
yeah.
I think we
Well,
played
like-
nothing but Overwatch the last like 2 weeks.
Oh, same,
yeah,
same,
so it's
same,
like-
same here.
That's
Okay,
it.
good, yeah,
That's it.
okay.
That's all I've played.
Yeah,
Not
that's
James.
I'm the only one
The,
who hasn't
the only
played
time I
it.
haven't played Overwatch was the 10 minutes I investigated ramen before I came here.
That makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Me too, actually, pretty much. Yeah.
I've been going in on Doom.
Doom's
I heard the
Doom,
campaign is
wow,
incredible.
nice.
a new
I
Quake.
would've-
I mean, we'll talk about this at
Oh,
E3.
dude,
We'll
Quake
talk
is
about this at the
crazy.
E3 discussion.
Yeah, okay, sure,
thanks
sure,
to the ESL tournament, I'm gonna be going in on some ramen instead.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh. That's good. Good joke.
Yeah,
No.
that was. Don't
Is that a
encourage it.
ramen?
Yeah, no, because I owe him ramen because I bet.
Because last week,
So the bet was either Sonic Fox versus the Field,
mhm,
and I took the Field for
I
ESL.
took Sonic Fox.
Just out of
Nice.
sheer hope that he wouldn't three-peat, for interest's sake.
To be fair,
Almost
to
didn't.
be fair, you almost did. Like,
Yeah, he
it
almost
was
did.
very close.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He had a couple of close sets. Yeah.
I guess that does bring us into the MKX. I'm not sure like what order you guys want to do these topics in, but it's sort of MK season discussion, really, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
he wasn't looking like he was gonna take it for free. Like season 2, he was very much kind of like
He wasn't even the first seed.
rampaging his way in, and he
Yeah.
wasn't the first seed from NA.
Sonic
Well,
Plus, he had just gotten fourth at Combo Breaker, so it was like.
yeah, it's
True, yeah.
Sonic Fox is no stranger to 5-0s in the ESL setting.
I mean, look, we're talking about it. Let's just
Well,
let's do it.
Let's
Let's
just
do
go
it.
right
That
into
was pretty
it.
good.
So,
He
yeah.
got a joke on himself there. You see that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty good.
I said Sonic Fox is no stranger to 5-0s in the ESL setting.
I heard it, I just
You know?
ignored it.
Hey.
That was pretty good.
I was
First, I
there.
mean, we always
That was pretty good.
we always make that joke about like the first ever recorded competitive match of Mortal Kombat X is me getting
5-0.
I was
Sonic Fox.
But then you made top 8 at Evo, so like,
Yeah,
it
you,
balances
you,
out.
yeah, you turned it around. It's
Well,
alright.
well, look, a 17-year-old kid 5-0'd you, but a 14-year-old kid you can beat and do this to. So you're learning the age group in which you're the most.
But that's
like,
the thing.
you know,
but that's
balance.
the thing. So we stream still. Like, so Fatal 8 was well over a year ago now. We still get
Yeah.
people on stream go, "Hey, you're the guy that got wrecked." What's
Yeah.
Sonic Fox? No one talks about Evo. No one
that will
talks about
happen
it.
forever. The rest of your life,
Uh-huh.
I guarantee you. That
Yeah.
will
Well,
happen
look,
forever.
Perfect Legend will never live down 13-0
Ever.
for
Yeah,
the
I mean,
rest of his
that's
life.
the thing. He'll
right?
never live down the 13-0. Yet he is one of the only players in North America next to Sonic Fox that has made ESL top 8, ESL finals 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
He's one of the only American players that has done
And
that.
he's a 3-time Evo champion.
Yeah.
Like, there's not that many people who can even say that. So.
That's true. That's true. Well, give me those results, Jimmy.
Sure,
C.
let's just do the whole top 16 here, okay?
Alright.
So, tied for 13th place was Kraithen with Ninjutsu Scorpion and VDV, I guess Storm.
Yeah, Storm and
Yeah,
Bugman.
with Shirai Ryu Takeda
There you
and
go. Get the
VDV
pronunciation
Boki with Shirai Ryu Takeda.
Oh no, you didn't do it right.
They're used different characters. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
come on,
and
James.
13th was also Elevate Perfect Legend with a whole slew of characters.
Everybody, yeah.
9th place was Sakron with Assassin Katana, all versions of Katana, Shaolin Kongjin, Acidic Alien. 9th place was BEN Hey George with Full Auto Jackie and Shotgun Jackie. Irish Mantis, Stunt Double Johnny Cage, and Noble Beyond Toxin with Mystic Ermac and Master of Souls Ermac. In 7th place was PND Madzin with Grandmaster Sub-Zero and Junpei with Cutthroat Kano. Is it Junpei or Junpei?
It's Yuppie.
Junpei. Okay.
Finish.
Fiasco.
Okay. 5th place was Orbit Hayate with Ronin Takeda. And 5th place was Noble Raptor, also with Takeda, but with Shirai Ryu. Shirai Ryu.
Thank you.
There you go.
4th place was PG Scar with Demolition Sonya and Smoke Triborg.
That was sick.
3rd place, CR Dragon with Tarkatan Alien. 2nd place, PXP, a Foxy Grandpa with Piercing Melina. And 1st place, CR's Sonic Fox, Brawler Cassie Cage, and Acidic Alien.
There was a lot of really good stuff in that tournament. I think for me, I was really surprised that Boki, I mean, even there listed as Boki Shirai Takeda, even though Boki's literally spent the whole year, and even in the Pro League, being Kung Lao.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I was
He
going to
just
say.
didn't
He
use
did
it
not
at
play
all.
Lao at all.
He just didn't use it at all.
Yeah.
And then, for me, Hey George, the Latin America player, has easily the best Jackie Briggs I've ever seen.
Really?
Across
Almost beat Foxy.
all 3 variations. He just bumped into Piercing Melina, of which he played very well, really well,
Yeah.
and Takeda. Like, Ronin destroys Jackie. Like, big time.
That character is so sick.
Ronan's amazing. Obviously, Hayate being the strongest Ronin. Like, and I was even talking to him. I was playing him in casuals the day before, and he's like, "Well, if I bump into a Jackie, I'm not worried because the matchup just sucks." You know what I mean? So you got someone like George, who was so strong. I just feel like he got really unfortunate by bumping into Ronin, who's a character that just she struggles with massively.
Well, I think one you see there is Yuppie getting top 8. is something that no one saw coming.
Kano.
That was really sick.
Kano's good, man.
But Kano's a
Yeah.
really strong character, and we've been saying, I don't want to be that guy, but we've said for a long time, like, Kano is a very, very good character, especially in Cutthroat. Like, he kind of ticks all the boxes. Like, to be a good character in MKX, you need good jump-ins, yes. 50-50s, yes. Good normals, yeah. Good anti-airs, good armor.
Safe
mids,
armor.
Safe armor,
safe
yeah,
stuff,
as well.
safe armor.
And good mids, and he has all of that.
Safe
And
mid-range.
Stagger pressure, yeah, he's legit.
yeah, it's just the list goes on. Everything you need in MKX as a character to be able to compete, he has really well, and has kind of always had as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
But obviously, Yuppie making top 8 he was not only a really low seed from Europe, he was also one of the final players that was there last minute. Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but there were supposed to be 4 Russian players that made the finals.
Oh, really?
There's supposed to be 4 Russians. There's supposed to be Sakron, Doc, Harry Nightmare, and Vladdy. And they all qualified to the Pro League, or the Challenger Cup, one way or the other. 4 of them qualified. And only one of them was permitted visa to actually travel to America.
Okay.
And they all found out really last minute. So a lot of the, I don't want to say lower seeds, but players that were close to them in the Pro League took their place, like Krathen, Yuppie, and Boki. They had really good showings, but because Yuppie was a last minute replacement, no one really thought he would do much. But
Right.
not only make top 8, but to do it really dominantly. Because he's been playing Kano since day one, but he's always been quite a quiet player. Never had too much of a a persona or too much of a social media presence, so no one really knew about him. Then he just turns up, defeats Perfect Legend, quite convincingly as well, and then Toxin as well.
Hey, he beat Toxin. Toxin was doing really well. A lot of people expected Toxin to get top 8 because the reality is I think you could probably say definitely that Toxin has probably the strongest Ermac at the moment because the 2 Ermacs right there, and you've got Big D and Toxin, and kind of Toxin was Big D kind of played with him a lot to help him get used to stuff.
Toxin didn't start playing MKX until the end of season 2, or midway through season 2. He said so. He's not even playing a long time. He's already this really high level of play
For sure.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about this even before the show started. I kind of want to get into the top 3 here, especially the whole concept of Alien. Is Alien OP, or because even Dragon said in the interview, he was like, I know everyone says Alien is OP, but he's not that broken, he's actually.
It's basically so think about Alien is without question Alien is the best character in the game.
Yeah.
And although Tarkatan was what we saw more of, the issue really does come from Acidic. Like Acidic just isn't, for some reason Acidic is not used as often as Tanya was used before she got adjusted.
The way the poison stacks is just
Yeah.
bonkers.
Yeah.
It should not be
Dude,
stacked.
I didn't
easy,
even. I was watching. I didn't even know that's how it worked. And then
Yeah.
one of you guys told me afterwards, and
Yeah,
I
it
was
just
like,
keeps going.
"What?
Yeah.
It's
Keeps
so
stacking.
It's basically Alien is in my opinion, I think Alien is one adjustment away from being alright. Or just being a good character that can compete.
The problem with the stick right now is he's not only a good character, he is the ultimate character in a game of Mortal Kombat X.
He fits the game to a T, and also, which is one of the main things I have with Alien, is that it seems like right now he kind of makes quite a lot of characters irrelevant. Any character in the game that can go for some kind of 50-50 option, or they have a string that can go low, or you can just go for an overhead special in that place. Launching armor, that kind of, the sort of ninjutsu, war god, venomous devourer because of the stacking.
Even
restands.
Melina to a degree, minus the projectile.
Bo
but you just have
Raicho as
stacking
well.
damage over time instead.
Characters that are built around footsie tools that can go lower overhead and combo if you take the right read. Alien does all of that to such a strong point that everyone else that
And
does that
almost
there's
safer most of the
no
time.
point.
Yeah.
There's no point to play them. So
Right.
it's all about, for me, it's the safety. It's everything is. In my opinion, everything seems to be a little bit too safe.
Yeah, why is regular overhead so safe on block?
I mean, some characters can punish it. I mean, but the reality is,
tiny amount.
Tiny amount, yeah. You don't get a big.
I mean, that's it. Foxy was fighting Sonic Fox in Grand Finals,
Right.
Down one punch.
and I mean, down 1. That's all he got.
That's not. I mean, that's not a punish. That's
Right.
you'll do down 1 to make them respect a
Like a
button.
throw or
so
like a
so you
bounce.
might get something else after it. But that again, that's not a punish. That's not. Whereas if Alien punishes her armor, he's
Right.
going to get a full combo into a restand.
Yeah,
She
it's-
can't wake
And
up.
stacking poison into a bunch of
It
stuff.
kind of reminds me of how we've been seeing a lot I mean, sorry to bring it to Street Fighter V here, but
no
a
problem.
lot of people have been jumping a lot, and they get uppercut. They get uppercut and they lose this much, but then they get one jump in, and here comes this big damage, and then mix up.
But again,
So
I feel
it's
like
that same thing.
that's another thing that Alien has going for him is if you watch some of the rounds in the grand finals, and I was there watching live, and you know like anyone that knows us, like we love Mortal Kombat, like we are super like passionate about the franchise and about the community because we've been part of it since it really came back in 2011, and we genuinely love the game. We love NetherRealm. We have a lot of respect for him. But when I was watching that grand finals from the crowd, and I was watching, obviously Piercing Melina is a great character by herself. You know, it's definitely a contender for a top character.
I think Piercing is top
but,
3.
But I saw the amount of work you have to put in to be at that level with a character like that. I mean, there's only one Piercing Melina doing any of that, and it's Foxy because he's put, you know, he plays every day for like 6-7 hours, and he's done that by himself for a long time. And I'm watching someone that I know has put in as much effort as he has. Not to say that Sonic Fox hasn't, but then to watch it come up against Acidic and watch that player block correctly for like, you know, entire sequences at a time, get nothing for it, and lose like 30-40% of his life on block because because the poison is stacking from like down 4, like down 4 tail whips, 2 stacks of poison, just like that.
Yeah.
Like because you blocked those 2 attacks.
Because
And then
it
he goes
stacks
back to
on block.
footsies where he's just crazy. His
Jump distance limbs. I mean,
I found myself getting very frustrated watching it.
I think that's pretty.
It's basically when you break down Alien, and you just said, you know, why we think Kano fits the game quite well because he's got 50-50s, he's got good jump ins, he's got good damage, he's got a good reversal, he's got good stagger pressure. All that stuff. Alien has everything that Kano has, for example, but he's got long-reaching limbs. Easy armor breaking with things like
Also no hurt box on the tail moves.
no hurt box on tail moves,
like
more
some cool
range,
stuff,
more range than most characters, restands that bag like 22%, 23%
Enough.
Yeah. A lot.
you know, armor that is kind of obnoxiously hard to punish. 50-50s off literally any touch whatsoever, and you know just the sort of like evasive blocking, where you know sometimes blocking can make things whiff on you as well because you're Alien. Almost all of your reversal moves are hard to punish. Being the crawl can be kind of tricky to punish. Low tail grabs kind of tricky to punish. All of which come from like 50-50s and stuff. So it's kind of like you feel like if an adjustment is made, it's an adjustment to just kind of how safe the character is. You know, so it's not like I'm just gonna the ability to not just be able to just do things.
Or
Do you know what I mean?
his. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask because we also touched on this before the show started too. Is Sonic Fox picked Alien, right? Now, do you obviously with that much money on the line, it was probably a smart thing to do. But
Yeah, super.
you know, because we were saying that you know he might not have been able to beat Foxy Grandpa with like for example Aaron Black or one of his other characters.
I think it's come down to a point that and I would argue that MKX is a game designed to counterpick because you've got 3 variations per character. You're supposed to change variations if you lose. If you have a matchup you don't like, you're supposed to swap. You're supposed to counterpick. I would argue that's how the game is designed. But then you've got a lot of players are having the mindset of, and obviously there's nothing wrong with this because counterpicking is just a part of fighting games. As long as you've got games, you can do the same back, right? So it's not really a big problem. But why change variation when you can just change character entirely? And I feel like that's what Sonic Fox has going for him so far, is because he is so talented at the game, and he just can swap from character to character to character to character without needing to warm up, or he's not rusty. He just seamlessly goes from character to character. And when we talk to him about why he picks who he picks, Acidic Alien is his answer for specifically Tarkatan and Piercing. He thinks, you know, obviously if he's picking a character, he thinks it's because that character beats his opponent. That's why he was going Brawler Cassie against Ninjutsu, because she destroys it, and I'm pretty sure he played Brawler versus Ermac as well, which again looks difficult for Ermac, especially Mystic, because Mystic needs to push, and she punishes push from most ranges on the screen. So I feel like even if that is the only character that Fox can beat Foxy with, I don't necessarily think that's too much of a bad thing. Because that's how he picks against every opponent. He always picks a specific...
That's what you gotta do.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when there's that much money on the line.
Yeah, for sure.
But
that's why Scar went Triborg Smoke.
Yeah, and almost won the
sick.
set because of that.
Yeah,
It
that's
was
right.
a really
That's
good
right.
idea.
They've played so many times. Like literally, we went to go do a bunch of media stuff the day before the finals, and Foxy and Scar were playing casuals against each other. We come back like 2.5 hours later, they're still there, and like they haven't changed characters or anything. Like they
It's
just
the same
ran.
matchup.
They ran Sonya, and I think he was using different variations versus Piercing. Like Foxy using all Piercing the whole time, And I feel like at that point,
But that's why the other players getting second and third. They're always up there.
That's how much they grind.
That's what they put
For sure.
into it.
and and then he goes, you know what? I think Smoke's going to be my answer here because Sonya just doesn't work in this matchup, and
Okay.
then almost wins.
Right.
Sonya, who he's used for so long, and then he brings out that wild card in Smoke and did
But
really
then,
really
like,
well.
if you've played Triborg, which obviously we do, you understand why what he's doing with Smoke, why he's picked it, and why it's working. Like it's
Smoke's good.
Smoke's good. Smoke's a good character. He's probably the best of the Triborgs. Well, I say the 4 cyborgs now that are in the game.
Right.
He's
He's
probably
such
the
a
best.
goof, man. How did that happen? Why is it not Quadborg?
Yeah.
Whatever.
They
Why is it
ruined it.
Triborg?
They
Even
ruined
Triborg
it.
is
But-
stupid.
But if they called it Quadborg, no one would be ready
And then
for the
and
surprise
then
fourth.
show 3 variations. People would be like, well, what's up with that?
Even Triborg is a stupid name, man.
Dude, he thought it was just a joke when he
I
first
legit,
heard
the
it.
first time I heard about it was
Yeah.
on Twitter.
You thought
Somebody
it was
was
a
like,
nickname?
"What about Triborg?" I thought it was just a
Yeah,
joke
he was like,
nickname
"That's
somebody came up
genius."
with.
But the thing
Yeah,
is-
that's what I said. I thought
and
it was
then
a
you
joke.
found out it was official, and then it was no longer.
it was terrible.
genius.
But the thing about the Triborg name is, I mean, it's basically coming from you and me.
I don't mind the name.
The reason,
Really?
the reason I
Oh.
don't mind the name is because I don't refer to the character as Triborg. I literally refer to it as Sector Cyrax Sub,
Same.
or
That's what I do.
Smoke, or
Yeah.
Sonic Sub. Like they, in my eyes, they are 4 characters, and they
Yeah.
are. They've been built. So I literally, although I literally just consider Triborg to just be like a placeholder name. I literally go, well, that's Sector and that's Cyrax, and that's literally all I
I
see.
do the same.
Yeah.
Well,
It's 'cause
just
the name
so
is
people
stupid.
know, because I just love this story. You were an avid Sector player then,
Yeah.
right? And you were the avid Cyrax player, red and yellow, thus the ketchup and mustard, right?
Well, it comes from so our very first Mortal Kombat game when we were kids and way too young to play Mortal Kombat, I think,
Me
was
too.
Mortal Kombat 3 on the Super Nintendo was our very first Mortal Kombat, and it was the
okay,
game that got
okay.
us into MK
Mhm.
ever since then. And basically, some of you might not know, Sector and Cyrax in the game, they went the longest without having proper names. And their placeholder names in development were literally just Ketchup and Mustard. That was their prototype names. So going into MK9, we knew that we were going to use just those characters exclusively. So we were like, on a whim, like, hey, why don't we enter this tournament as Ketchup and Mustard? A bit of like an Easter egg to the game that got us into it, and
Dang.
just that's it. You know, it's literally just a homage to
And
Mortal
you get
Kombat
stuck.
3.
That's
Yeah, it's
way
over
more.
after
That
that.
was way more depth than I
You
was
get stuck.
expecting.
Yeah.
That's
It's just a
cool.
homage to Mortal
What if he
Kombat
just
3.
really liked ketchup and he just really liked mustard?
Yeah.
You
Some
never know.
some
There.
people think that.
Maybe that's why they got into
Do you-
MK, huh?
How do you feel about actual ketchup and actual mustard?
I like them both.
You like them both?
I like them
So,
both.
right.
Yeah.
On hot dogs.
On hot dogs.
Which
would you-
one?
Both.
Both on hot dogs. But
Unacceptable.
apparently that's frowned upon, and I don't
That
understand
is frowned upon, sir.
why.
I don't come from a background where that's a problem. It's,
What do you do?
I do mustard like,
I do
like
mustard
a normal
too.
proper person.
What's
Yeah.
wrong
I
with
do
both?
ketchup.
What are you doing?
What
Yeah,
about
what's wrong with you,
Because
James?
ketchup is great on hot dogs.
What's
When
wrong
we
with-
were in Chicago, we should have taken you to an actual hot dog place so you
So,
could have
a
actual
real
hot
hot dog,
dogs.
yeah.
And you haven't.
Well, here's the thing, right?
get some
sorry.
Portillo's maybe.
I'm not a big fan of mustard.
Really?
Me
yeah,
neither.
I'm not a big fan of mustard.
You just don't like life, huh? Is that what it, you don't like happiness? That's fair.
Yeah.
What do you
Makes
feel
sense.
about wasabi?
Wasabi?
On
I
a hot
like
dog?
wasabi. I like
On a
wasabi.
hot dog?
No.
No.
What?
Oh, I was
Just
about to
to
say.
say,
Whoa.
I like horseradish.
Actually, I have had it on a hot dog. There's this place in New York that specializes
Oh,
in like
yeah,
Japanese
yeah.
style hot
Japa
dogs.
dog.
Japa dog is what it, dude, is delicious. And there was a wasabi one.
Yeah, the
Those-
best thing about that Japa Dog restaurant right now is one day the FGC was there when they decided to shoot a commercial, and so they interviewed Sherry and Yipes on
I
it.
saw that.
But then they audio dubbed them for the Japanese
Japanese.
commercial, and so like
Yipes'
Sherry
voice
was
is sick.
yeah, Sherry was like, oh,
Yeah.
and then Yipes comes up, he's like, oh, yeah,
that's actually exactly
yeah,
how it
that's
sounds.
how it sounded. It was like the most
That's
amazing
true.
thing, dude.
That-
I need
that
to go and
goes
watch
somewhere.
that.
It's so good. Oh my god.
But what's wrong with putting half it? So mustard on one half and ketchup on the other.
That's even worse than just putting it on the whole
There
thing.
should just be no ketchup.
What if you
Yeah.
make
There
it
should just be no
symmetrically
ketchup.
shaped, like the same?
I feel like it's
What
the
if you
same
had
point.
red mustard? Would that do the trick for you?
Is that a thing? Well, I heard of that.
I
Why not?
I,
Just put
I
food
feel
coloring
like
in
I
it.
feel like I horrendously overload my hot dogs when I go to somewhere. If I go
Yeah,
to like a
that should-
fair in the UK, I'll have onions on it as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, okay.
That's what I do.
You do
gotta
like the
get
relish
all
and
sorts of
all
crap
that
on
stuff.
it.
Yeah.
I remember.
I
when-
Except not
And
ketchup.
ketchup,
Oh,
exactly.
And you know
yes.
what?
So
I
good,
only
though.
put ketchup on there. I don't put anything else on my hot dog except ketchup.
This is how you got to where you are, huh?
You know he puts sugar in pasta.
what?
Really?
That's quite an
Okay.
Italian thing to do in sauces, I hear.
Well, here's the thing: is it's so when I was growing up, my parents were scared that the spaghetti sauce would be too sour, so she put some sugar in it, right? And so when I cook it myself, I still do it that way. And that is, in fact, a very Filipino way to cook spaghetti. That is how Filipinos make spaghetti.
So you could so you put it in
So
the
you
because
do-
In the
I,
sauce.
I hear that
In the
it's
sauce,
quite I hear that
yes.
it's quite an Italian thing to put it in like a tomato sauce.
Well, I mean, a lot
I hear.
of tomato sauces have a little bit of sugar, but he puts
I put it.
Like
he
an
puts some
unreasonable
sugar
amount.
in there.
Yeah, I
It's-
put
yeah.
sugar in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Man.
Yeah.
So you eat apple
Raisins.
cores and bone marrow. He puts sugar in his
Have you had
pasta.
bone marrow before?
No.
Well, my dad loves bone marrow.
Why not? It's
My
tasty.
parents eat bone marrow, but
Why
that's
not?
because
It's
they're
tasty.
Chinese, and Chinese people eat weird food.
So
You're
do
not
Jews.
I feel like Ryan here is the master of terrible food though, because he's got this weird habit of when it's really late at night and he's got nothing else to watch, he just goes on
I
YouTube.
have no shame in that.
Goes on YouTube and looks for the worst food videos you've ever seen in your life.
Okay.
Including there's a particular man called Feature Man. He's
Okay.
this
I
like
love feature.
he's this like 70, 80, maybe even 90-year-old
I
man
endorse feature. man.
that has cooking tutorials of quite possibly the worst food I've ever seen in my life. It's always like how to cook spaghetti with a secret ingredient, and it's like he boils pasta, puts onion in the water to flavour it, and then he puts some like basil and herbs in it, and then he's like, now time for the secret ingredient, and he just puts a box of raisins in it. And he's like, this is how my mom used to cook, and the raisins were my idea.
Boiled spaghetti with onions. He adds baked beans to it,
Okay.
dried basil,
I like
and
three of
raisins.
those things.
And raisins.
I like. I still like 3 of those things.
It's the old chicken and ice cream argument.
He also throws a bit of spam in there as well.
Oh.
I would love to know what the chicken and ice cream argument is.
Yeah, I've never heard.
Wait, some
Great.
people are talking about a chicken and ice cream argument.
Great foods, but not good together.
Ah, indeed.
That's the
Indeed.
point.
Oh,
right?
Okay,
indeed,
that's fair.
Okay.
Indeed.
I feel
Yeah,
like
well, I
I
like-
need
I
to
like
clear
raisins
that
a
up
lot.
because by itself, without context, it's
Yeah.
like
I would
I
eat
mean,
chicken
like-
and ice cream. Yeah, okay,
I
fair
mean,
enough.
look, the thing about it, like,
But not together.
I don't even know if that would be bad anymore because I would have never thought chicken and waffles would
Chicken
be
and
good.
waffles is
But
great.
chicken and
True,
waffles is like the
true.
greatest thing ever, right?
Chicken and waffles
so,
is great.
So that is like
You look like you
salty
don't
and
like
sweet.
chicken and waffles.
Oh no, I'm trying to imagine chicken plus ice cream, and I just don't think it would go very well.
I
it's
don't
like a
think so
root beer
either.
float where you just dump a chicken breast in the middle
That
of it
sounds-
instead.
Oh, that sounds. You made it sound way worse. Now
That
I'm
sounds
definitely
terrible.
not against
I think it was
yeah.
using the word dump was a bad idea.
Okay,
I can imagine
okay,
it just
okay.
plopping into
One,
the.
Before we move on to the next topic, which I guess are we done with ESL?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna
I
talk
think
about
so.
injustice probably.
Fart milk or fart tea?
Are you really bringing
Yeah,
this up
can you?
again?
No, you got to give them the explanation first.
I don't-
Wait,
I
I would
don't-
like some context.
you got to break them down the story. First.
All right, fine. So
Alright.
what happened was somebody who's not me or my brothers. It's really not. No,
It's true. He's right.
one brother asked the other brother to get the milk that was remaining for breakfast. Not that much milk was left, and so the brother grabbed the milk out of the fridge and took the top off and farted right into the milk, and then put the top back on and shook it around vigorously so that none of the milk was unfarted.
It's an equal spread of fart.
An equal spread of fart.
Yeah.
So, and then he gave it to the other brother who obviously did not drink it. But that's fart milk.
I
By the
picture
same
how he
process.
managed to accomplish that.
It's genius.
Why would you tell people about that?
Yeah, it's genius.
He really likes farts.
No, you don't understand.
Come on, it's
David is
fantastic.
like so mad that he never did that to
You're
his
right.
brothers.
You're right.
He's
I
so
wish I
mad
had thought
about
of
that.
it.
Yeah.
But
Life's not over. You
that
still-
process, fart milk or fart tea.
Which
I
would be worse.
before I answer, I just want to say that is quite an evil thing to do because what's the first thing you do when you open milk to check if it's still good?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
genius. I didn't even think about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so good.
You gotta take a big whiff of it.
Yeah, to see if it's still good. Oh man, I didn't even think.
I
about
would like to leave.
Oh, what if the milk was left out?
Look, I'm not trying to kill you. I just want to know: do you want to drink the fart milk or the fart tea?
Which would you pick, fart milk or fart?
Can I drink the bleach instead?
No,
Fart bleach.
that could happen too, huh? That's-
Why not?
Yeah,
It's a
that's
liquid.
fair enough.
I feel
right?
like I don't have an answer to this question, but I feel like it's expected. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess
If you've put all that effort in, I'll at least make an effort to make tea out of it.
Tea.
Do you know what I mean?
Tea.
Tea is the answer.
Tea is the answer.
What
That's-
about you?
I'd say tea too, just to
You
get
can
off
you
this
can
topic.
you can distract yourself from the sugar.
But we'll dip a digestive into it. Does it ruin that too?
Yeah,
Man.
it'd absorb that. It'd absorb.
Nobody ever says fart milk except for James.
James
Alright,
is the weirdo
let's-
who says fart milk.
coming up
He
next.
wants it raw,
That's
Maximum
so
discarding.
disgusting.
Oh.
untainted.
So
Yeah.
announced at
Fart
E3
polarity.
today.
All right, let's move on to the next
That,
topic.
you know what? Your guys' decision. It's an injustice. You know what's also an injustice
Oh,
is
that
that.
was
It, no, it's kidding.
I can't. Should I?
We don't need to.
I don't want to. 'Cause
I'm prepared for anything.
He got me good.
I just
No,
want.
You know, I
injustice-
segued in a chat room today. It's getting worse.
Good luck to you and your problem.